Hey, hey, what you up to? Space cowboy or space cowgirl? Whichever one floats your boat. Thought I could try something new. But let's talk about consistency. Lately, I have been failing at that in so many regards that genuinely it is my fault no matter which way or whatever that I look at it. A lot of folks don't notice, but well, a lot of folks don't know too much about me because, well, X, Y, and Z, but you'll already know. I am bipolar, so yay. This either, like, I alternate between just being incredibly just low or just incredibly high, and trying to manage and regulate that is just so all over the place. And yes, I have received help. Yes, I am going to receive more help for it, and etc. For example, I've been taking some stuff that has helped in the past, but keyword past because I haven't been doing that. The way how I describe like the extreme highs is, think of like Jujutsu Kaisen. Like that's the best way. I don't know why. I'm so sorry if you don't understand it, but I'm gonna try to simplify it, right? So imagine your energy, but in the show, right, it's pronounced as cursed energy. Actually, no, I'm just keep it simple. Imagine your energy levels, right, being just so categorically high, to where it's like, I've even noticed this as a kid because I got, what is it? It wasn't until last year that I got diagnosed, and yay. But just like I said, you feel restless. You feel like you're able to just do everything. Your motivation, your aspirations, your ambition skyrocket so much to where it's just like any to everything feels achievable. It's like, imagine like the best version of yourself. That's what sometimes it feels like. And then there's the extreme opposite of that, and I find it very easy for myself to get in that. And I know that the best way I can describe it is like I'm kind of in like that high energy state right now, which is why I'm grateful that I'm able to just go ahead and get this video out, because I have so many amazing people, y'all included, that care, and I care about y'all. I have some stuff that I actually want to start living for more now, you know? But that's like the hard part. It's like, it's easy to really just, I'm sorry, I would hate for this to be like a soul crushing or just depressing video, because my entire thing is like, hey, I just want to be here to say, like, no matter what the hell happens, we can always do something with it, you know? Like, for example, like a YouTube channel, you literally start with nothing, you start with zero, and you just make your way with it. Or even just living, right? It's like, you go from having $0, my broke ass, and eventually you get into something that's just, you go through the stages, but that's pretty much life as a whole. But back to like the consistency bit, it's like, it's so much that goes into it, where it's like I'm kind of afraid to just like say it, but it's like at the same time I'm not. And y'all know me, it's like even if I don't feel like I can say it, I'll still go ahead and do it anyway. But for some odd reason, I genuinely feel like I can. I have like a slew of things, but we're only pointing out one thing for now, so. But if there's one thing that's always going to be an actual constant, is just never giving up. For me, it is genuinely so much easier than anything nowadays to just keep going despite people telling you like, hey, you're not gonna make it, hey, X, Y, and Z, or just give up, just be normal. Not a lot of people do that, but this, I've always like kind of catered towards like what others think and etc. But then once you get put through like a bunch of damned if you do and damned if you don't situations, is you easily start picking yourself. It's like gambling, except for you start doing it for yourself, you know? Actually, wait, no, I mean, gambling to a degree is kind of so. Yeah. Fuck. Now I have to like rephrase it. You're always going to bet on yourself, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, yeah, we're just gonna gloss over that. Just like throw some gold over that heaping pile of stank. And then, like I said, the other extreme side is like I will be in my bed for like what seems like a multitude of just time. I don't want to get up, I don't want to do nothing, I just, it's like the worst thing that I can genuinely like say and think of is just, you want to do something, you just want to like go in, you just want to like go get it, because I've always been that way, but it's just like, you just end up not doing anything. And I know it's easy to just like say, just force yourself to do it anyway, but that's like the weird thing. It's like when I don't feel like doing anything, it's like that weird opposite effect. Like the more and more I want to like do it, it's just everything intrinsically is like blocking and pushing and pulling all of that away. It's a whole conundrum. And then vice versa for just, you don't want to do anything, and then bam, it's just things start falling in place all of a sudden. It's a weird phenomenon, because it's, I would argue to say it's like the more and more that I do really like put my all into something, there's never no guarantees, of course there isn't, but it's like, you gotta like take that. Even if you put your guarantee into it, things still won't pay off, which won't stop me, but just at the same time, it does suck, and you recuperate a little bit afterwards, Like I said, I'm just sick and tired of going through like that constant flux of just, I want to do something, and it falls flat. It's like the ambition, everything is still there, but it's like having that weird switch that automatically flips on and off. The best way that it was described to me is just like the stuff that just makes me be, just it gets set off, or just maybe there's triggers, there's so much stuff that I sit there and I go, wow, if I had known this like earlier, how easily would have life just been different, And then I remember telling some people about it, close ones, loved ones, friends, just all the folks, And not once did I just hear like, I don't know what I was expecting to hear, but the one thing that was prominent was just like a firm. We had an idea, but we couldn't really pinpoint it. And I just always sat there like, why haven't we ever gotten it checked out, or etc. etc. It's just, I get it. Once you're in your adulthood and stuff like that, things get mighty brutal. Your parents, your guardians, whoever, try to equip you with all the tools at their disposal. They're working with what they got, because parents are still their own people too. I don't believe that their identity is tied up in like being parents, unless you do that. Like I said, no flack, no nothing. Genuinely, don't shoot the person who's just trying to understand y'all as well. And I know in previous videos I've been a very hothead, or I've just been very irrational sometimes. And unfortunately, going forward, it's still going to kind of be that way, but y'all do understand, and I want to understand more of y'all. Not saying I'm a parent that I fucking know of. Christ, the day that happens, I already know some of y'all are going to like roast the shit out of me in oblivion and be like, well, we knew you would have been a parent. It was just a matter of when. And I just got to sit there and be like, ooh boy. But that's topic for another day. That's topic for when that does happen. But just to run everything back, to summarize it, is just like, hey, I'm continuously going through this one thing with like a slew of other stuff that I have yet to talk about. Maybe, you know what? This is going to sound extremely weird, but just, I say extremely weird because I still want y'all to be your own people. I still want you to like X, Y, and Z. But I also realize and recognize that, hey, yes, I have a lot of own personal stuff as well, but I often do wonder, because I have siblings, I have friends, I have family, I have a plethora of people who do happen to be younger than me, and I'm realizing, hey, you guys are going through the same thing that I have went through, or there are new challenges to where it's just everyone is figuring all of it out together. And you know what they say, sometimes it takes a village to raise a child. But you know what was like a weird thing with me is, I was that child to where it's just like the village did try raising me. Sometimes I would burn it down, sometimes I would rebuild it. It would just be a slew of stuff. And what is it? I'll talk about my dad for a bit. Let me tell you something extremely personal, right? So, I think I was around like 20, the beginning when I was 20, or like late when I was 19, one of those two. This was a little bit before I moved out of my dad's. No, it was when I was 19. It was genuinely when I was 19. I think late 18 to like late 19, one of those two. Fuck. It is funny how time flies by like that, you know? But my dad looked me in the eyes. He wanted me to be someone respectable, someone that would just, you know, able to like contribute and shit to society. I've always had like the firm belief of like, hey, society's gonna be okay. I'm still my own person. I'm still my own individual and shit at the end of the day. And yes, I would absolutely love to help people, but I want to be able to contribute in a way to where it's just like something that's like purely me. And I get it, getting a J slur, for those who know, if you know. Apparently, look, I'm still under disbelief that saying J asterisk B is a slur. I mean, for Christ's sake, I'll even like give you some reference points. Don't worry, we're going to come back to what I was saying. I remember when I was a kid, right? Yes, I'm that old now to where I can actually say, back in my day, you some. But back in my day, if somebody was good at the game, we weren't saying, hey, go take a shower, go work somewhere, go blah blah blah. And I get it. A lot of us nowadays, well, I don't think I can say a lot of us. Yeah, some of us nowadays have jobs. I done said the slur. I done broke the seal. Which means, guess what? For all those that are offended by it, yo bitch ass about to cop a feel. But yeah. What is it nowadays? It's like y'all happen to know I am at least above decent whenever it comes to video games, especially if it's something online, right? Now it's like if you're good at the game, it's just go get a job, go touch grass, go blah blah blah. Back then it's just like, you know what you would do if you were getting that ass whooped in the game? Like, I'm talking, they are just straight up like, dog, they're doing new positions and shit with you that haven't even been thought of yet. And you're getting obliterated in the game or whatever the fuck, right? Not even in the game. Anything with life. Anything with life. Especially sports and video games, apparently, through my experience, right? Instead of getting angry, upset, frustrated, and etc., of just you getting your shit clapped, we still have to like recognize that, look, I've been playing and doing shit since I was 4 years old, okay? Since I was 4 years old. And you mean to tell me for 18 years, that's a whole ass, like 18-year-old, like that is a barely legal person right there. And sometimes more than 18 years, like a whole ass generation up to like higher. And I get it. I get it. Over time, your motor functions, some of your skills dwindle, some of your stuff decreases. Excuse me. But I'm more along the sides of just like your stuff increases. It's just like, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, but you always need to recognize that someone is going to be better than you. Someone's going to be better than me. Someone's going to be better than you. I've always had a rule with just like some things, right? It's not going to stop me from having fun, but you need to recognize that at least 20% of the stuff that you play, like in terms of winning and losing, 20% is going to be, you're going to win no matter what. Basically, I'm saying you're going to get carried or you're just going to win no matter what, right? And the other 20% is just like, I know a lot of y'all can relate. Well, assuming if you can. Of just, you're like the top tier guy, and everybody in your team is pretty much Teletubbies with like no awareness, right? They're straight up like sucking their antennas like it's a milkshake, going with their eyes rolling back while getting obliterated. I don't even know how to describe it. And on the enemy team, you're fighting a fully, you're fighting the Phoenix. Yeah, you're fighting the X-Men. You're fighting the X-Men with the Phoenix Force behind them. Jean Grey is enhancing their stuff, or you're probably, my bad, you're fighting the X-Men with the Terminators, and they're in conjunction with each other. What am I supposed to do? And then it's like the other 60% of that stuff is just going to be straight up, it's in your control. But if you want to like cope even better, 25% you'll win, 25% you'll lose no matter what. And then the 50% is how you play. Now, what causes a problem with that is you'll never be able to tell the difference. So that's why I say, make peace and have fun. Because that's what video games are supposed to be. Whether you have fun by absolutely demolishing lobbies, humiliating people, whatever the hell, that's all up to you. I am just very sick and tired of, look, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of us, like, we come home from just whatever we are doing, mainly work, and you have to deal with people who still have triple X's and shit in their name called Snipo Lord, and they are absolutely destroying your shit. You need to still understand, no matter what the hell you do, someone is going to be better than you. Especially if you're going to be playing an online game. Like, at that point, yeah, I get it. Skill-based matchmaking, still, I don't know what to tell you besides, like, I agree with the same sentiments as you, but if you're going to play an online game, expect to get your shit bent over. I get it. You're playing to have, like, your brain shut off and to have fun. You're playing against people using their brains and they're still having fun. Like, sometimes that's the difference, or it's a slew of other stuff. But back to what I was saying. Like, I got, like, this marvelous ass high energy, I'm feeling good. But back to what I was saying with my dad. Looked him in the eyes. You know what I told him? I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to be a streamer. I wanted to be X, Y, and Z. And I've always told my mom this before, you know, things started, like, taking off kind of how it is, where it's, like, mainstream. My bad, I'm kind of getting, like, ooh, wait, who the fuck is cutting onions, you know? But it's just always been something on mine that I just genuinely wanted to do, because I feel like I can at least help people, like, just say hi. You know, just... Damn, I don't know why my brain is getting confused. But back then, I remember, I used to have older channels and stuff like that. And I had horrible social anxiety along with, like, a slew of other stuff. Not as prominent now. Actually, no, that's a lie. Some faded, some new ones came, and then some stayed. But I would stay up and just... Thankfully, my mom taught me how to do graphic arts by myself before, like, the advent of AI. And I would stay up all night making banners, tweaking my software, doing X, Y, and Z. And I would always forget to turn the PC off. And I remember one day my mom found out what I was doing. Imagine, like, you're, like, very insecure, and it's like your parents find out that you're doing, like, something like that, or your parents find out something about you that you did not want them to find out, and it's like, oh no, what do we do? Like, you don't know how they're going to react, but you keep thinking it's going to be negative. And when she found out, it wasn't negative. It was the opposite. It was something I genuinely needed. She helped me. I hate the fact that I don't have any of the older stuff, because when she passed, I sold everything, and majority of that stuff was tied to her account that she had put on that computer too at that time. But she pretty much just had, like, that full-on belief, that full-on just everything that you would genuinely feel like you wanted and needed to just, like, hey, this is something I want to do. And she said, you know what, let's go into this together. I'm gonna try to help you as best as I can, because I used to flip-flop between, like, doing game design. I knew how to code briefly, and then some other stuff as well. But the two biggest things I've always wanted to do was just fashion and streaming. Genuinely. When I say fashion, I mean mainly pertaining to like clothes, art too. Like, I love being able to express myself because growing up I felt like I kind of wasn't allowed to in a multitude of ways. So I had always expressed myself through art of just making and assembling shit. Yes, I was a YN because the first thing that I started doing was making paper guns and shit that could shoot. GG to everyone in class. Fucking hell. Like, the amount of times like the teacher would like have their back turned to the class, the dudes would bust out the paper Draco that I gave them and start shooting at each other across the class. I'm like, put this shit away. Put that shit away. We're all gonna get in trouble today because of you. You. Or sometimes I'd be in the middle, what is it? It would be my fault too, because I would be folding paper. I know how to do origami dangerously well. Dangerously well. And what would happen is I'm in the middle of like class, either making like a whole ass, a knife. I would be making the most quote unquote lethal shit. I want to say lethal. Jesus fucking Christ, that sounds weird. I would just, not even that, paper wallets, like, what is it? Origami birds, origami planes. I know I already said wallets, but I would even do, what was it? Duct tape purses and some other shit. If there was some type of like thing I could think about, I did it and I sold it to people. I would sell it to people, or I would just say like, hey, I made this, can you check it out? I just always express myself through making stuff. You would look at something and be like, that's just a rock. No, I would be all happy and giddy and I'd be like, hey, I want you to watch this. I'm going to somehow turn a rock into pants. Don't know how that would work, but hey, either into some shoes or just what the hell ever, because random stuff would always be happening, and I was just happy that I had like that creativity blessed upon by both my parents to just like go, hey, let's just, okay, what do we have available? It's like crafting, literal crafting. Like, how many of y'all have played The Last of Us? And I know that one's like pertaining more to like violence. It's just like, not even violence, like a whole makeshift med kit or an explosive. We don't talk about that. Jesus Christ. You don't need the entire info on that. Damn. But yeah, I just remember telling my mom from like ever since 2013 to like 2015. I remember seeing Twitch back then, right, when I was a kid. And I just looked at it and I went, yo, this seems pretty cool. Like, back then, it was mainly more related towards gaming. And, what is it? Me being, underage at the time, I was just like, yo, I abided by the rules more back then, but I still would, And like I said, it was just ironic that my mom happened to like stumble upon my work, and she was extremely proud of it, said that she loved it and everything else. She gave like some enhancements on it. Like, she made a copy, not drew like over the actual thing, and I just sat there like, wow, thank you. That I'd been insecure over this for nothing, and then she was gone. And yes, I get it. You need to still do something to sustain yourself and more, and best believe you me, I will try to do that. It's just shit does happen. I don't like to pertain too much to the past, but if there's something that people can take away from it and do better with, then yeah. But I felt like whenever I told my dad the same thing, the difference is that he didn't see what I was working on, and he had like a preconceived notion about how it was and etc. And I remember he was saying I needed X, Y, and Z, and I remember just telling him off like, you genuinely don't know the first thing of what you're doing, because it's like a lot of people think that you need to have all the equipment, all the X, Y, and Z, instead of just like going into it. It's like doing practice, right? You never know until you really go into it. It's like, imagine like rolling up at like a basketball or a football game, whether it be soccer or American football. And we've all seen this before if you do play sports in that regard, or you've watched it. It's that guy kitted out with like all the equipment and etc. on him. You look at him, you like scratch your head a little bit, like, ain't this a bit excessive? And it's just like they play like Garbaggio. It's like at that point you become a gold-plated shit nugget, you know? You don't know until you actually just start doing it, because you will learn along the way, instead of like just saying, I got all the equipment, I'm ready to do X, Y, and Z. Because I used to be like that. And you know what it made me realize? I was shit extremely quickly. And you just learn over time, and you do infinitely better. It's like video editing, for example. A lot of people, like, man, what is it? If I were to show video editing like some people, first thing they would do is look at the screen and be like, what the fuck is this? What is that? What's that blue thing? Well, I mean, like so much stuff that goes into it. But they can also easily do the same thing to me with like, what is it? Like financial stuff. Like I wouldn't say stocks. I've done stocks before. I would say more along the lines of just like investments or credit, some stuff like that. I have like a basic understanding of it, but not like, look, this still pertains to just like someone is obviously going to like know more than you. It's like being book smart, but it's like you're not really street smart. It's like we all have things that we just happen to do X, Y, and Z. I feel like I'm a Swiss Army knife, like jack of all trades, and honestly, it's been doing decent for me. But just back to what I said to my dad, he was just like, you're lost, you're X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt. But I was an idiot because I had a big shit-eating grin on my face while looking at him like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I would talk more about that, but that might get into like weird territory, but yeah, you get it. Unfortunately, my body is literally screaming at me, so I don't think I have much long before I probably end up asleep while recording this, but thank you for listening to me with me being all over the place and stuff. And genuinely, it's going to be hard some days to just do one thing, and then some days it's going to be easier to do another thing. But unfortunately, that's more along the lines of the reality that I live until I can get more proper care. Hopefully things don't go off into the deep end of no return, you know? But still, do expect some things, because I hate the fact that it is becoming, I can't even say it seems or anything along the lines, I hate the fact that I'm becoming along the lines of just, I say I'll do one thing and then I do another thing. It's like, that's genuinely not like me. If I say I'm going to do this, and the thing is, I always have it on my mind, it's just, it's weird. That's the best way I can describe it, and not a good weird, it's just bad. Like, you know you want to do this, and you sometimes just fall into like a weird pit of despair for no reason, or maybe a trigger. It's a lot. But I'll see you soon. Real soon. Have a wonderful day or night.